So this is going to be a 3-3-1-3 positionally, but the disposition is going to be a midfield overload. As opposed to vertical play, it's going to be much more, because we cannot match up with them vertically. Don't have enough forwards who are strong enough on the ball. Then we're going to have to shrink the field with these three players. So need two interchanging pivots and a false nine. Right? So this is Matt, Elijah, Noah, right? Andres, if you're not strong on the ball, you can't pin up there. We got to shrink the field. And then the relevant field of play, right, is and then if we can even get the goalkeeper involved. Right? So we've created a situation where our relevant field of play is narrow, and then we can go long. Right? So it's false nines and false tens, guys. Don't force the ball forward to these guys. They're not strong enough to get the ball. Want them to show. Right? When you show, guys, give the ball back. We need the ball. Once we go here, right, we can talk about running some automations, or we can switch it. But again, these guys can make dummy runs behind, or they can show. A lot of times, the ball's not going into a freshman in the middle, and then you guys get upset because they don't score. Ridiculous, right? Our strong players on the ball are back and wide. So again, because we're playing with a narrow disposition, we're going to have three pivots. First, we started with one pivot. It was just Isaac. Then we started with two. Now we got three pivots. So I'm guaranteeing that we get to the ball and secure the ball. So we do create a four in the back, but the goalkeeper has to be one of the four. All right, no one's in goal. All right, will we give up goals? Maybe. But try it. Right? If you want to create a four, put the goalkeeper in. That's what gives you the numerical advantage. What gives Man City the numerical advantage, right? It's very hard to play positionally, right, without the goalkeeper involved. High up the field. You want to spread out and play 4-3-3, you need the goalkeeper involved. Come on, guys. We have to know this. The goalkeeper creates the free man. You can't be here trying to play a 4-3-3 against a more dominant team without the goalkeeper creating the free man. But let's say even then we're outgunned. Well, we got to play either vertical or overloaded, or both. That's called the disposition as opposed to the position. And let's say, all right, we're even more overloaded then we're going to be even more, we call fluid. So we're going to step in front of these players and play through. It's all spectrum. But the principles are the same, right? You're reacting to what the defense is doing. If they're in a zone and you're good enough relative to them, then you can play positionally, right? This guy inverts. That's Shevchenko or Calvin Phillips or Trent Alexander-Arnold, right? If you're good enough to play there, fine. 4-3-3, right? Really turns into that. But okay. That's what 4-3-3 turns into. But let's say 4-3-3 inversion, right? Push up, there. Let's say now. The problem is this doesn't work. What do? Well, the next adaptation is adding a pivot, right? When you add a pivot, you either overload, so you add a second pivot, or you play vertical, which is narrow and long. You either overload, say, first pivot. Oh, that's not working. Second pivot, everyone overloads, narrow and long. All right, that's not working. Then you need a third pivot. We're not good enough to maintain this even with the goalkeeper. Then you need a third pivot. And now you play fluid. So when you play fluid and the momentum stops, you play the goalkeeper back. And then you switch. It's part of fluid play. Goalkeeper assists. So we're not getting this. Goalkeeper would be very aggressive in fluid play. Get out here 20, 30, 40, 50 yards. I don't care. We got to learn how to do it. Right? Secure the ball. We passing the ball here in our 18 and getting scored on. So shoot. Can't be shy about doing that. At least do here. We'll have 2 guys or 3 guys covering the goal if necessary. Right? Let's not be shy anymore. We got to learn. We got to figure out, are they more dominant? If they're more dominant, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 pivots, 5 pivots. I don't care what it is. Right? We got to stop passing the team. If we have 4 pivots, it'd be hard to figure out how we pass the other team. I mean, there'd be 4 guys right there in the middle, all jammed up. And they just pass between themselves. They pass back, and then they go long to the space. See, that'll open up a lot of space. Right? They get those 4 guys, boom. And then these guys just kind of stand around in American soccer because they don't understand the principles to this. And you can drive a ball through the middle or drive even on the ground behind. You can drive a ball behind. Swing it around the back, right? Show here, and then you can drive a ball. Whoops. You can drive the ball through through the gaps. Look at these massive gaps. If you play with 4 pivots, I don't think we need to play with 4 pivots, but we're just going to keep adding pivots. So that's the principle. You guys want to play positionally? We'll try it, right? Positionally, right? You have to play with the goalkeeper, though, right? You have to invert the free man, invert one of the free men, right? And there's the WM, 3-2, 2-3 with a free man, right? And it's got to be aggressive. It'll be out of the box. Play positionally, 1 pivot. Okay. That doesn't work because they got, right? Now we play with 2 pivots. So now we're overloading and going vertical. Right? So that's dispositional play. 2 pivots, dispositional play. 3 pivots, fluid play. Three pivots and the goalkeeper, fluid play. And so position, it's fine. We got to read the game. We got to understand how many pivots we need. And at the point where you're trying to fix the formation, how the formation interacts with the team, and you want to have 2nd, 3rd, 4th pivot, have at it. Can't lose the ball in the midfield. And from the last video, we can't wait for you to check down and get to space. Check up and get to space, right? You have to take a 3rd man position. Right? There's the 3rd man. 3rd man position. 3rd man run. Whatever it is. Overload. We'll just say overload or 3rd man. Right? Overload gives you width side to side. 3rd man gives you depth. So you can narrow the field and play vertical at the same time, but still have an option wide. That's possible. But that's the next step from, okay, the positional play with 1 pivot is not working. The positional play with 1 pivot and the goalkeeper is not working. The positional play with 1 pivot, the goalkeeper, a free man, and an inverted fullback is not working. Well, then now we got to add 2 pivots. Oh, that's not working. We got to add 3 pivots. Well, that's not working. We got to have 4 pivots. Once we have 4 pivots, we can release people vertically because these 4 should not lose the ball. So that's how teams toggle from positional play to dispositional play, narrow or vertical, narrow and vertical, vertical or narrow, right? To completely fluid play, depending on how outmatched they are. But most teams eventually come across a team that they can't break down when they're being fully positional, even with the pivot helping and the goalkeeper helping and the free man helping. Eventually, and that was Pep Guardiola. Eventually, it breaks down. And that's why he could never win the Champions League until he got Juan Leo. Like to play, what's the disposition? Disposition is narrow and long. And you can't attack all the time like that. Can't attack all the time, spread out with free men. Eventually, it breaks down. So, that in the year they won the Champions League, Juan Leo did all the training sessions for Man City because he needed to get them out of the positional play bias and get them into a degree or spectrum or of more vertical or overloaded play, right? But you can go from overloaded play to vertical play to completely fluid play, which was the original Barca system, right? With micro automations around the ball, right? So they would have the goalkeeper a lot of times, not necessarily this player. So they would have 2 automation diamonds set up to receive the ball, the linking player between the guy up top, and then the sweeper or libero. Messi, the false 9. Here. False 9. There. So the principles that are the adaptation of positional play. La pausa, stepping on the ball, waiting for the arrival of the overload, waiting for the third man run to develop vertically, or the touch and go. Touch and go, next player touch and go, third player dribbles, can fake the pass to the fourth player, drive the ball vertically, whatever it is. You can't just stay positionally and stand around and get into one-on-one duels, especially once you notice that you're not the dominant team. And now, if you're not the dominant team, there's progression along the positional to dispositional to fluid play spectrum, depending on the intensity of the press and the quality of their players.